Welcome, it's Monday. I don't even know what episode this is anymore. Maybe 15? Not sure. It is now time for the news. It is now, well, it's not Monday. I lied. By the time you hear this, it will be Tuesday the 15th. Why, you ask? Well, we had a little bit of cross-referencing and mixing up and scheduling and midgets. Yes, I will always bring up midgets. It's time for you to come to terms with that. But Andrew is writing a review for the Oculus, and it was apparently a good movie. And it's going to be posted on Monday for his review. So check it out if you haven't. You'll find it in the notes sections on Facebook, or you will find it pinned on our Twitter page. Some news we're going to quickly go through. I won't lie to you, it's been a busy week. Like 4 fucking podcasts done in a week. No, I'm not trying to break a record or anything to that effect. It's just been that busy. So, we got some news. So, we need to go over it. Now. So, the guy named Chiwetel, which, you know what, I won't lie to you, I am probably fucking up this man's name. So, the guy that made the movie for 12 Years as a Slave is going to be the next Bond villain. See, I'm really fucking this guy's name up, and that's why I'm not going to say it. So, I'm going to refer to him as Chris. Alright. It's not a bad thing. It's because I know I'm going to butcher the fuck out of his name, so I'm going to give him respect and not do that. So with that said, he's going to be the Bond villain. Why not? Let's see. He was the villain in Serenity. He was the villain in Children of Men. He was the... Shit, he's done a lot of fucking things. He also clearly demonstrated he knows martial arts. He made a fantastic independent film called Red Belt, which you can find on Netflix right now. And it's not boring. It's actually a really good movie. And I have to admit, the recent changes to the Bond industry, amazing. I mean, we're using people to be Bond villains that are not really known yet. Like, look at the guy that plays Hannibal now. Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, that's right. He's a Bond villain with a bleeding eye. And now he's Hannibal. Doing very well for himself. And a lot of different characters and a lot of people who got involved in the Bond franchise who was not known are now being known. And for that, I salute everyone involved. Like, seriously, I'm fucking up this guy's name. Like, I mean, I have a better chance of trying to figure out if it's like him, Basinger. Does anyone know how to say her name? That's right. The next 5 weeks is Arrow. Every Wednesday. No more fucking around. We can finally get to business here. Business is about to pick up. Before another oddball week that it didn't air, Deathstroke was brought in the fold. Manu Bennett's kicking ass left and right, and everyone is going crazy about this. I can honestly tell you this is fucking nuts. We clearly can see that Manu Bennett can play the perfect Slade Wilson and Deathstroke. Now, a lot of people are upset about the costume, but hey, it's a fucking costume. Do you think he cares how he looks? He's got a sword, he's got a gun, he can kill you, you can't do anything about it. Now, with 5 episodes left, rumor has it there's going to be a cameo appearance of The Flash to help do the kickstart for the upcoming Flash TV show on Netflix, also a Suicide Squad, and obviously the big fucking event we're all waiting for, Arrow versus Deathstroke. Here's a question for you, and I want you to put this in the back of your head. How is the CW making a superhero TV show work with such ease? Now that I have mind-fucked you, we can move on. Must be good writing. As my buddy Mark would say. Yup. Now, I know there's a lot of debate when it comes down to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and we all know my opinion. It sucks almighty giant moose cock. Oh, maybe I should bleep that out. Nah, we don't care. It's the podcast, right? You can't sue me for saying... Oh, wait. Never mind. So with that said, now we're going to have our second week in a row. I was incorrect because I didn't watch last week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You're like, Todd... Why don't you? I'm like, oh, it's probably because every single time I watch 5 minutes of it, I get nauseated and I get dizzy because the show is so horrible. But this is going to be the second week in a row that it's going to be a Captain America spoiler. Now, wait a minute. Why would you do that? The movie just came out. I just saw it officially last Friday. 5 days ago by the time you hear this. And let me tell you, it is not a perfect movie. It definitely can rank up there, but it's definitely not a perfect movie. And with that said, putting in spoilers in the TV show this early, that's fucking arrogant. I mean, that's basically saying you're expecting for everyone to go see this movie before they watch S.H.I.E.L.D. Well played, Marvel. But you know what? Don't tempt temptation so many times. Eventually they'll come back and bite you in the ass. Okay, Walking Dead fans, I'm going to say it.
Spoiler alert!
Okay, I've given you enough time to stop the podcast at this point because you're afraid that you're going to hear something that's going to ruin your TV show. And yes, I'm going to tell you something. It is now rumored, well, it's not really rumored because Kirkman said it on MTV that he's bringing in Negan. Who's Negan? Well, he's some crazy, evil, twisted, nasty villain who is known for killing Glenn. That's right. The man that killed Glenn, bashed his head in with a baseball bat covered in barbed wire, is going to be possibly showing up for season 5. Uh-oh. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to kill Glenn. That's just a little bit of a stretch. But what that could mean is that someone is going to die horribly, and it's going to be a main character. Because really, if you killed Tara, everyone's like, I don't give a fuck about that. And that would be the end of the conversation. I would be more impacted if I found out that Andrea was resurrected and then killed again by Negan. Yeah, that'd be more it, if over Tara. That's kind of crazy. But let's be honest here. Kirkman has been hinting at a while that a main death is coming. Didn't come in season 4. It's coming for season 5. Watch out. Will Jon Snow ever know? It's not really relevant to the news podcast, but I have to ask somebody, is this guy going to know anything? Because every single person he talks to, they're like, you'll never know, Jon Snow. Even the crazy, wildling, freaking redheaded, hot, ginger chick, you'll never know, Jon Snow. Now I'm going to hit you with some arrows. Pew, pew, pew. Yes, her arrows sound like an alien gun. May 6th. Yes, 6 days before my birthday. That is a hint. Hint, hint. But with that said, is the launch date of the new animated short by Warner Bros. Called The Son of Batman. Now, I have been watching it, but I haven't reported anything because it's kind of a, tease to do so. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do an expose on it very soon. Expose sounds very important. Very important. But, with that said, there's some issues with it already. I'm not going to ruin it fully, but I'll tell you, there is some changes to the casting as usual. Jason O'Mara voiced Batman and Bruce Wayne. Not our typical favorite guy, but of course we have to take another hit to the mouth about him. And it has nothing to do with the Joker or anything to that effect. It's all about the League of Shadows. It'll be interesting. I will have hope, but when it boils down to it, it could just be another quick buck in Warner Brothers' pocket. They would never do that, right? Right? I need to address a growing epidemic, and then I'm pretty much sure I'm done with the newscast for the week. Listen, people, let's be smart. I know I bitched about it before, but it pisses me off. Now, when this podcast is recorded for the news, it mainly is done Sunday night, after we do our initial podcast for the week, or I do it on Monday when I get home from work. Yes, I still work 40 hours a week, and I still put in 40 hours on my page and the podcast, the Twitter. Not looking for a fucking medal. But the point I'm going to make is this, is that if you choose to use social media to hang out and see people, you can't get pissed when you see people posting spoilers on TV shows, i.e. The Walking Dead, i.e. Game of Thrones. You know what? Listen, if you're not home when the show fucking airs, you can DVR it, or do what the rest of the world does, fucking steal the TV show 15 minutes after it's done. As we speak right now, I'm currently seeding Game of Thrones. I haven't gotten that far yet because I've been busy, but posting on Facebook about how fucking people are douchebags and assholes and blah 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 blah, and on Twitter because they post something they thought was amazing about the episode. I know something big happens about this week's episode, but really, if I see it in my feed, I'm not going to write a huge post about how people are ignorant and stupid and stuff like that. This is shit that starts wars. Do you understand? Do you speak English, motherfucker? Thank you. I know a bunch of you right now just nodded and said, he's probably right. I'm not probably right. I know I'm right. Because we waste more time bitching about what people do on their Facebook statuses than achieving our own personal life goals. Wow, I've turned this into a Springer moment. And I'm going to leave it at that. And with that said, hopefully from the time that I finish recording this to the time that it airs, no one else dies because we've had a lot of deaths as of late. Otherwise, I'll have to come back and edit this podcast again. And with that said, guys, listen, enjoy the social media. It's a good way to get a hold of your friends. It's a good way to check up on people. But really, look at it this way. It's just social media, man. No reason to get pissed off about it. I get pissed off because Facebook raped my page. I don't get pissed off on my personal page. And with that said, gear down, throw your feet up, have yourself a chimichanga.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Thanks for listening to the Droid You Are Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you always.